Yeah, brother. So I started wrestling in the first grade. I grew up back east, and they wanted to give all the kids a look at every sport, and so the wrestling season when you're in first grade is like 1 week though, or 2 weeks. But I knew right away when I started wrestling that I absolutely loved it, and that's what I wanted to do. A little later, I think I was about 11, I got into karate. And karate would last until my early 20s, at which time I actually found a boxing gym. But the one thing about finding a boxing gym in that era is like, I was definitely not meant to be there, right? Like, the boxing gym wasn't meant for me. It was a Latino gym in a Latino area, and I was the freaky white guy there, and it just felt weird the entire time. But I learned a lot of things there, and I learned a lot of things in karate that stayed with me. Now, it's funny, the book behind you see is Warrior of the Light. That's my book on my martial arts journey, and it starts way back in the first grade, and everything I trained in and everything I went through, and the highs, the lows, the everything in between. And I also wrote a book about my criminal life because I was in prison, and that's how I was able to write books. And I'll say this, there's a million people on both sides of those lives saying, "Oh yeah, Derek, yeah, you weren't any good. That's not true. You weren't with us." But nobody ever points to a fact in either of my books, Warrior of the Light, the martial arts book, the fighting book, or the criminal book, and says that's a lie. Because there's no lies in it, right? Like, so there's nobody who could actually get up and say that, but yet at the same time they discount you. And I think what's at display in that is human nature, what we do, how we see people, how we view things, and whatnot. Me personally, it's been eye-opening writing the books, right? Because what you have to reflect directly on what happened and how you felt about what happened and everything else. I mean, I'm glad I wrote the books. I mean, I found out a lot of things I wasn't entirely sure about, like as all the guys at El Nino were avoiding me, they were secretly saying I was terrible and I stunk and I was an old man. None of those things were rational in a sense of reality of what was going on, because I sparred with those guys, and so that's not even close to the truth, right? But it doesn't matter. Like, people make up their own realities and they stay in them, and it makes them comfortable to go on or do whatever. And that's part of life, right? Like, paradigm is everything. So whether it's my criminal book, whether it's my martial arts book, it is a book about human nature and the human condition. And it's not always a happy thing, if you will. Read my books, Warrior of the Light and Greed and Fear.